Welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com, and I'm going to go ahead and go into the Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead. I'm doing this video on Monday morning, and it's Martin Luther King Day, so the markets are closed. So this is your Let's Get Ready for Tuesday the 16th through Friday the 19th in this shortened week. What we'll do is we'll go through some of the markets, and also we'll go through some stocks that I'll have on watch for Tuesday, the 16th, some for swing trade ideas and some for day trade ideas. If you're interested in my service, you can come join me at zozostockwatch.com. And what we offer you for the first month, you can do it basically for half price for $44.95. Click on the Join Zozo a link here, and that'll give you for new subscribers the first month for $44.95. Now, if you're just a swing trader, then you can join the private feed for $29.95 per month, and you can have access to my private feed for swing trades. If you don't have time to sit in front of a computer all day, we offer that. So we're a combination day trading and swing trading service, but on the private feed, we only put swing trade entries on the private feed, okay? And if you're more of a day trader, combination trader, you can come join the full service at the Omnovia room and the news, audio news, and you would have my screen share and whatnot up for the first month for $44.95. All right, so let's go ahead and start off and get into it. As you know, like I said, the markets are closed today, Monday the 15th. They reopen tomorrow on Tuesday the 16th. And so here's your economic information coming out for the week ahead, courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Really nice calendar that they do each day, kind of color coded and whatnot. So we have the 8:30 Empire State Manufacturing at 8:30 on Tuesday. We also have some numbers coming out from Asia on Tuesday evening. Then Wednesday, pretty straightforward, economic information this week. No major surprises. We do have the MBA mortgage applications coming out at 7. 10 o'clock, we have the housing market index. Then we have some Fed speak on Wednesday, the 17th. Don't forget now, because of the holiday, oil is going to be coming out. The numbers will be coming out Thursday on the 18th, and they do that at 11 o'clock. The nat gas will be at 10:30, its usual time on Thursday. And then Friday, consumer sentiment, and then the Baker Hughes rig count will be coming out. Wednesday, the 17th, the API crude numbers will be coming out at 4:30 p.m. And that's for Wednesday. So, limited economic information coming out for the week ahead, but always some of those important oil numbers to watch for. Let's go ahead and we'll get into the earnings coming out for the week ahead as we get more and more into the earnings season. Obviously, no earnings coming out that Monday. Tuesday, Citigroup, CSX, a railroad stock. Goldman Sachs before the open here on Wednesday, so a big name there. Alcoa after the close on Wednesday. And let's see what else. JB Hunt, IBM, American Express, Canadian Pacific, another railroad reporting earnings for the week ahead. We have Schlumberger on Friday before the open, SunTrust, the bank, First Horizon, Regions, Citizens. So all these will be reporting. American Express, in case I forgot to mention that. KeyBank before the open on Thursday. So as you can see, our earnings season is going to be heating up. Charles Schwab before the open on Wednesday. But the ones right now carrying over some of the banks that reported on Friday. This past week were JP Morgan, PNC, Wells Fargo, and then we picked that up again on Tuesday before the bell with Citigroup reporting earnings before the bell on Tuesday. So that'll be a big move. And then Goldman Sachs and Bank America Wednesday before the open for those names. And the futures are trading today on this Martin Luther King holiday. The Dow futures are up 142. The S&P futures up about 5. The Nasdaq futures up about 1. So the futures are pushing higher on this day. The market is closed. I believe the futures have a limited session though today. They'll be closing at 1 p.m. Eastern time for the futures. Over there in the commodities. We have gold up close to $8 as the U.S. dollar is moving down. Copper popping this morning up 1.66%. Crude oil going green here, up about 3 cents, trading WTI trading at 64.33, Brent oil trading at 69.78. And like I said, the dollar is moving down, and I believe it is an abbreviated session for the futures, and they close at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. As far as Bitcoin, it's still trading under the 50 SMA currently. This is from TradeView charts, and Bitcoin is always trading, but currently on this daily chart, it's trading below the 50 SMA on the daily chart for Bitcoin versus the US dollar. Some news that came out courtesy of the trade exchange a Friday after the closing bell. DVAX had some news there. MYSZ Form S3 50 million mixed shelf offering, and that was for MYSZ. So that's not really much happening to it in the after hours on Friday. Made a big strong move Friday and then kind of just trailed off and wasn't really affected by that late news that came out on Friday after the bell. Next up, we'll take a look at some of the more news that came out Friday. CBS and Viacom not in active merger discussion. Sources Fox on that. Let's see. Trump exam shows he is in excellent health. White House says. Some other news, some top insider purchases Friday after the bell. NXRT, Sprint, symbol S, DALKALABHAREX, all with some top insider purchases Friday after the bell. Some syndicate news there that came out. CARO, EGAN, GLP, all had some syndicate news. And then we also have some news coming out over the weekend. Like I said, I'm doing this video Monday morning. So this is some of the news that's come out over the weekend, courtesy of the trade exchange. SPI Energy establishes a blockchain base infrastructure application division, and that's on SPI. And then we also have China and authorities talking about Bitcoin, and so there's that news blurb there for China. Teva had news. So Teva announces U.S. FDA approval for their drug for first-line treatment of acute leukemia, and then VSAT selected by United States Special Operations Command to provide critical mission networking and communication equipment. So that's some news that came out for this Monday morning. And like I said, gold was up, crude trading up a little bit as we went through the futures for this Monday morning. And let's go ahead and we'll take a look at some of the markets. And then we'll get into the watch list and whatnot. So here's the NASDAQ composite. Everything very strong, a little bit extended, right? We've had a big push up on the NASDAQ now. You would think there'll be a little bit of, consolidation, possibly a retest of the 10 SMA here. When that's going to happen, your guess is as good as mine. But for right now, we have very strong trending markets. And as I showed you with the futures were moving down. Utilities, because of the Fed, chances that they're going to be raising interest rates 3 or 4 times for 2018. Utilities have been moving down. The transports remain very strong. The Dow Jones, the IYT, and I'll show you that also. The IYT breaking through this, resistance, new all-time highs on the IYT and the transports. So moving up nicely there. The IBB Trying to turn back up here on the IBB and currently at a little bit of resistance here at that 112.50 area, as you can see with my red line here, but kind of consolidating underneath it. The trend looks to be up here, holding above the 10 SMA on the daily chart. IWC, same thing, a little bit of an indecisive candle on Friday. We'll have to see how the next candle plays out, but big push up on the IWC. Also, the IWM, a little bit of an indecisive, kind of an inverted hammer here. We'll see how this plays out with the open on Tuesday and how the markets trade on Tuesday. We're up here at all-time highs on the IWM. We've come up, that 155 was a resistance area. We got through that. Nice pop there, showing a powerful move. And as you notice, the volume expanding here on the IWM and all the markets. So the institutions are out there buying. So very strong markets. We'll see if this trend is just going to continue up. Like I said, you would think there's going to be some kind of pullback, but the dip buyers come in on every dip and come in and buy the market. Like back here, we had this small dip to the 20 SMA, and dip buyers showed up the next day and push this back up to new all-time highs. So we'll see if we can get a possible correction. MJX, the new marijuana ETF, we were long this one from $31 all the way up to $39 on the MJX. Now we're getting a little bit of a pullback. In this is, a couple of names like GWPH and a lot of pink stocks from the over-the-counter market. If you don't like to play pink stocks, but we're looking for an ETF to get in some of the marijuana stocks, MJX may be an instrument that you might want to look at. We had that big pop, and now we've pulled back to about the 33 area, the 20 SMA on the MJX, so keep that one on watch. OIH, the oil services, that's such names as Schlumberger, Halliburton, Rig, all having powerful moves here on those names, and the OIH moving up nicely, and so nice recovery there. We'll take a look at it on the weekly chart as we come up to the 150, this purple line you see here. We haven't been able to get through that before, but this looks like a better possible candle break for that break of the 150 SMA on the weekly for the OIH. Silver powering up, moving up nicely, getting over the 200 SMA. The SMH itself, paused a little bit. We had this big push up. We pulled back to the trend line here. Now we're back over the 50 SMA. We have that 104 resistance spot up ahead, and currently trading at 102.35, holding above, like I said, the 10, the 50. Let's see if they want to take another push up through this 104 area and then maybe up through that 106 area on SMH. Nvidia, pushing the semis up, AVGO, the Broadcom, not so much. TXN was strong last time I looked. Yeah, nice big powerful move in TXN. We'll check out AMAT trying to get over the 50 SMA. So right now, it's Nvidia, TXN, and then some of the other smaller semis. Intel makes up a big part of the SMH, but with their chip issues and if they're suspect, that stock has been kind of moving down if there's vulnerabilities to hacking in the Intel chips, and AMD also with those possible vulnerabilities for hacking in their chips. So this AMD is staying below the 200 SMA currently. Next up, we'll look at the SPY, which is, similar to all the other markets, the Dow, the NASDAQ, just powering up here. A brief pause here on Wednesday the 10th, but basically a pullback to the 5 EMA, and then that dip was bought by buyers, and up we pushed higher on the SPY as you know, the market has a lot of fuel with the tax reform from Donald Trump and his presidency getting that tax reform bill through, and so that is supposed to be very good for corporations. So the market pushing up on that, but we are getting a little bit extended, but you know you can always become more extended. And I'll go ahead and show you the fear and greed index, and this is courtesy of CNN. And CNN, they do this kind of combination of McClellan oscillators and all these different indicators to give you this fear and greed index, which right now at the close on Friday was at 79. So if we gap up on Tuesday morning and the market closes again strong, we'll probably be pushing, you know, into the 80 area now on this fear and greed index. Just something to keep an eye on. You know, it's not the end all and be all of indicators there, but something that you might want to watch for the fear and greed index. Um, Oil and the VIX. Here's the VIX still holding this 9 spot here on the VIX. If we go ahead and look at the bonds, quick look at the 10-year bond. You know, not really too worried about that till we get up over this 3%, and some folks are saying maybe even that you know the 4% level for bonds. So right now, currently, you know, a little ways away. You see this 3% area was resistance, and we're not really that close to it yet. And then some folks are saying that you know we have to watch the 4% number for the bonds. So we'll see how, you know, with the Fed raising rates for 2018, where the bonds, you know, if they're going to break out over this 3% area for the bonds. UNG, Nat Gas, we'll go ahead and look at that on the daily chart now. Nice recovery after it did this 1-for-4 split, trying to get back over the 200 SMA here for the UNG. USO coming up to this 13 area resistance. Let's look at it on the weekly, the USO. So there's your resistance line of 13 spot for the USO. And then oil. You know, we got above and held above this $55 a barrel for oil. Now we're up here around 65, and this is the weekly chart you're looking at. So we'll see if we're going to break through that 65. You see, oil once was trading at, you know, close to over $100 a barrel. Now coming up to that 65 level. Here's the daily for WTI, and just in this nice trend up. And then there's the USO also in the nice trend up, riding that 5 EMA and the 10 SMA currently. So is it going to consolidate here a little bit, or are we going to have a possible pullback to maybe the 20 SMA on oil? So stay tuned for that. Dollar has been very weak, UUP, and so that has this 23.75 spot support, but we'll see if that's going to break on Tuesday. GDX making a nice move when the dollar moves down. Gold and the gold miners and whatnot. GDXJ, the junior miners getting nice pops. Gold moving up. Silver we went over already, and I showed you that. The XBI for the biotechs. Trying to get up through that 90 spot. Here's the weekly on the XBI. We had a previous high back in that was 2015, and that high was at 91.10, and we're currently trading at 89.62. So we'll have to watch for that 91.10 break on the XBI, and then there's the IBB on the weekly there, coming up to that resistance spot on the IBB. XLF, the banks, we'll take a quick look at that on the weekly chart, pushing up after holding that 2750 area, the 10 SMA on the weekly chart. Also the XLF, a nice move here, but we do have some more bank earnings coming out this week, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So we'll see how that's going to affect the XLF. All right, so that's some markets that we went through. Let's go through some of the stocks. Some of the bigger names. Apple trying to get up through this 177, kind of turning the corner here. Looks like it's trying to get up over, 177.10. There was that previous high there at 177.20. So, might be one to watch for this breakout on Apple and Amazon. Just powering higher. It's just beast mode on Amazon. A little bit extended, but it looked extended here and got more extended. So we'll see on Amazon, Google, pushing up, breaking out, got over this resistance, kept this run going on Google, Netflix, pushing higher on Netflix, Tesla. That one having a little bit of issues here at the 340 level for Tesla. So we'll see on this one. Not as pretty as the other charts that I showed you. And then Facebook took that hit on a Friday. I guess they're going to, cut back on their news feed or news in their feed. So that stock, was up almost near this breakout area, and then Friday gap down on big institutional selling here, over 77 million shares for Facebook. So maybe the party is over there for Facebook for a little bit, but you never know, right? It's a big name, and Mark Zuckerberg could come out and say something. So we'll have to watch this 174, 175 spot for Facebook, and then some of the Dow stocks, we'll just look at a few of them. Boeing extending this move, powerful move up here on Boeing. Here's the weekly. I mean, quite, seems a little bit extended now on Boeing. So keep your eye on that for, possible reversal. Caterpillar also has been trending up strongly. There's the weekly of Caterpillar. So big moves there. Disney. This stock trying to maybe get back into the mix here, trying to get up over, 113, 114 area for Disney. Nike, let me take a look at that one. Look, last time I looked was recovering. So Nike, nice run here, kind of basing below that 65, and then it has the those recent highs also of 65.19, 65.25 in that area for Nike. So just going through some of the Dow stocks right now, and Goldman Sachs, which reports next week, turning the corner here, getting back over the 20 SMA. Here's the weekly chart. You see it kind of basing under that 260 number on Goldman Sachs. IBM has been recovering nicely. Here's the weekly on IBM. JP Morgan, a bank that reported on Friday, making a nice big move here, over 18 million shares traded Friday for a big push up on that earnings from Friday. McDonald's, very strong on this weekly chart, kind of consolidating under that 175 spot for McDonald's. All right, so that's some of the Dow stocks. I don't want to go into every single one of them. And then, over there, some pharma names, Amgen finally breaking out over this resistance spot here in Amgen. Here's the weekly chart for Amgen and Celgene. That one's still kind of weak there for Celgene. Costco, basing here under the 195 spot on Costco. So let's see if that one wants to turn the corner. Some other names we'll look at. We went through Halliburton, JP Morgan, Micron Technology. Forgot to mention that one when I was looking at the semis, but kind of basing, consolidating under that 50 SMA right now. Would need to probably get back over 45 to get something going. Nvidia, we looked at already. Priceline, another leader, coming up to a resistance spot here for Priceline, but recovering nicely here on the weekly chart. Back over the 10, the 20, and back over the 50 here on the weekly for Priceline. Starbucks getting over that $60 area on Starbucks shop. Looks good. Trying to get up over $115 a share on Shopify. I believe this is when Citron came out negative on Shopify, but we've recovered nicely on this name. Wayfair, another name that Citron came out negative against, and now trading up at the highs again on Wayfair. So those two stocks doing okay. And then some casino names, Wynn maybe trying to bounce back here. LVS making a nice move up. MGM after that unfortunate shooting in Vegas, breaking out here on MGM. And then Melco, another one of the casino resorts, pulling back here to the 50 SMA on some of those casino names. All right, so that's a little brief look at some of the markets and some of the stocks that are moving the markets. And so we'll go ahead and we'll get into the watch list. And we'll go ahead and start that right now. Now, as you know, my service is a combination day trading and swing trading service. So I look at stocks both as a day trade and swing trade. But some of these names, like an ABIL, which is an under $1 name, got close to 1 million shares. So this would be strictly a day trade for me. If you like those under $1 names, we play all different price stocks. So this is something that got some momentum Friday, getting back up over the 50 SMA. Like I said, close to 1 million shares traded in ABIL. ADI, more of a swing trade look to me. If we can get over this 92.75 area on ADI, one of the suppliers to Apple, I think, to their phones. So if this can get over 92.75, possible swing trade in that one. AMBC. Financial services. We had this hiccup, I guess, moving down here, and now starting to try to recover. Maybe over 16.25 AMBC can get going for a possible, intraday trade or a few days hold. We are still below the 200 SMA on that one. AVEO. Would be more of an intraday play for me. You have this $3.33 spot. 3.6 million shares came in on Friday on AVO. Biotech name got a nice candle here, so we'll see if there's any kind of intraday setup on that. BAH, possible swing trade if it can get over 39.55 area on BAH. Business services. Possibly trying to break out. There was a recent high back here of 39.68. So if it triggered for a swing trade, then we'd want it to take out that 39.68 after it triggered. So possible swing trade in that BAH. CNX also, an oil name, kind of has been consolidating here on CNX, trying to get up over this 1535, and then for that break of 1550 on CNX, 2.1 million, so possible swing trade there. Craig, strictly, a day trade right now on Craig. Let me get rid of some of these lines. Sorry about that. So, possible, this has fits and starts. You see it popped over here. So maybe it wants to give us an intraday trade there on Craig. FireEye perking up. Chatter around this name could possibly fill the gap here around that 16 and change area for FireEye, FEYE. Once again, Friday there was Chatter, 4.5 million shares came into the name. FTNT trying to get up over this 45 area, another one of these cybersecurity names. And the Hack is the cybersecurity ETF, and that has been moving up nicely there for that. So maybe, FireEye and FTNT, they might yield some trades there or swing trades. GERN, 2.4 million shares traded Friday, back over the 50 SMA, currently, would suggest this one as a possible day trader. HMNY, for me, this would have to get over $8 in my mind. All right, on HMNY. So you see it's been struggling here at 10, I'm sorry, at $8. So if this can get back over $8 a share, could become interesting again, either for a swing trade or intraday trade. INPX, another one of these. This is an under 50-cent name, but 20 million shares came into this. So, if you like these under, 50 cent, under $1 names, you might want to keep your eye on this one, INPX. If it can get up over, 35 cents, 36 cents here for a continuation move. KDMN. Nice pop on Friday, 6.3 million shares. So this one will be on watch intraday. LBIX, nice candle Friday. Volume a little bit light, LBIX. It's a beverage company, so we'll see on that one. LNG, possible swing trade. If it can get back over 55 and hold over 55 on LNG. On that name. Lowe's had activist chatter in this name, so we'll see if this one wants to maybe pull back a little bit, some type of red to green, and then maybe an intraday type of trade in that one. Mara looking good on Friday, but kind of trailed off after the pop here on Friday. Then we kind of just trailed off, but I'll keep it on watch, see if it wants to maybe set up intraday, 10.9 million shares. MODN, possible swing trade in this name, software application, trying to get up over the $16 area here for MODN, so keep your eye on that. MYSZ, even though they had that offering, was a small offering, really didn't affect the stock too much after hours on Friday. Made, a big pop on Friday, 34 million shares, so that one will be on watch. PBI, Pitney Bowes, there was a chatter, takeover chatter around this name on Thursday. We got this big pop, then we had this inside candle. Now we're kind of, holding under the 200 SMA for PBI. RCON, an oil name. Nice pop. Needs to get above $1.75, so possible trade intraday in that one for a possible swing trade too. Our run needs to get over 650. RUN, solar name. And we'll take a look at TAN. TAN has been moving up. First Solar has been very strong. CSIQ took a hit after they lowered their guidance. SPWR shaping up here on the daily. This is another one that I'm kind of watching. If it can get up over that 950, then maybe through this 975. Possible swing trade. We'll see on that one. SGMO. Biotech name basing under 1875 on SGMO, 2.3 million shares. I don't really like to hold biotech stocks. I would be looking at it more for an intraday trade. But if you're looking for a swing trade in a biotech, you'd have to play it very small if you're trying to hold these overnight, because they can do offerings and come out with news at any time. So I would just look for this for a swing intraday trade on SGMO. SGRP, big pop on Friday, 25 million shares on SGRP, so we'll see if that wants to set up. SPWR, we spoke about. SRAX, another one of these blockchain, Bitcoin kind of connected stocks. You see 625 has been a resistance area on the name, currently at 575. So maybe if it gets over 6, it can make a nice move over 625, possible intraday trade. SSC, want this one to get over maybe 510 or so on this name. Let me get rid of this line, too many lines. If this one wants to get over 510, it's been holding up above the 10 and the 20 on SSC, so keep an eye on that one. TNTR, big pop on Friday, 1.3 million shares. WPCS, big volume came into this, more of an intraday type of trade here. So we'll have this one on watch intraday. And then Yuma, which is another oil name. Finally getting up over this 200 SMA, 1.4 million shares traded on Friday. Here's the intraday chart with pre-post market. So right now around that 170 area, and then maybe it gets over that 175 spot for UMA. Some stuff that I didn't look at, and I'll look at now, but that's your kind of watch list for Tuesday. Uh, Bots, the ETF for artificial intelligence, just cruising along here on bots and pushing higher. It's up here at 26, up at all new time highs, as you can see with this weekly. And then we have the Robo, which is the uh, robotics ETF, also powering up here on Friday. So a couple of ETFs I neglected to go over, Robo and Bots making strong moves. We went through TAN, we went through Hack, Social, this ETF, basing under 35, and Twitter. Big part of that ETF moving up nicely here, has this 26 resistance on Twitter. So, you're always watching Twitter. And I think that's about it. That should get you ready for the week ahead. We went through a lot of the different markets. Here's the agricultural ETF. Not really much going on there. In the DBA, there's the DBB. This is the metals fund. So, that's looking okay. And then some of the other metals and mining very strong. The XME, XRT retail pushing up higher on retail. So, overall market looking very good. This is what I was looking for. Jets. This is the airline ETF Jets, and you see that's powering up here. Jets was a new ETF that came out. I guess a couple years ago, and pushing to all new time highs as the airlines are moving up nicely. Delta had a big move, and I think JetBlue, Save, yeah, all the airlines are moving up here. So hope you like the video. If you like the video and it gets you ready for the week ahead, please hit that thumbs up for me. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to my YouTube channel. Would greatly appreciate that. And if you are on social media, if you could retweet the videos, that would be a big help too, as we try to grow our channel. And put some comments down there. There's a lot of stocks you can go through. I don't want to keep you too long. This video is probably long enough as it is, but if you have any comments on particular stocks you're looking at, or an ETF that you're looking at, let me know. Put it out there on the comments. Please hit the thumbs up button, the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and come check out my service, zozostockwatch.com. Like I said, the first month is $44.95, and you can come try us for a month for that price. If you're not a day trader and just a swing trader, we have a service for you. We have the private Twitter feed for $29.95. Everybody have a great rest of the Martin Luther King Day. It's about 9 o'clock Eastern time, my time, and we'll see you in the service on Tuesday, or I'll see you along on Twitter, on social media, stock twits at Zozo Stock Watch. All right, have a great day, everybody.